We're here, we're live. All right, fantastic. How you doing, everybody? Eric Worre here, and today I want to welcome you to our discussion, this conversation, this coaching and mentoring session on duplication, okay? Duplication is the key to being able to turn your network marketing experience from a job to a business, a way for you to create scale, a way for you to create leverage, a way for you to create wealth. So that's what we're here to talk about. So a couple things, I'll just give you the lay of the land here. I'm going to be doing quite a bit of writing over here over the course of these next 3 hours. I have a monitor right to my right, so I can see your comments. I can see your interaction with this. There's about a 30-second delay on the comments, so I'll be able to see that. Guys, can you throw those comments up so I can see them instead of looking at myself? It's annoying looking at yourself, I will tell you. So anyway, and those of you who are talking about this, I'm in the middle of writing a new book that I expect to come out in the next several months. And so this is my writing look. This is my thoughtful bohemian thing. So I know there's a mixed crowd of people who like shave that stuff off, and the rest of you are saying, it's okay. Anyway, either way, that's the reason for the scruff. Now listen, I want to talk to you about, the other thing I want to tell you is over these 3 hours, a little more housekeeping. We'll usually go for about 45 minutes or so at a shot, and then we'll take a little break, let you go to the bathroom, get a drink, whatever. I know some of you are watching by yourself on your computer. I know others of you have a room full of people that are enjoying this training at the same time. Regardless, I'm proud of you for doing this. And at the end of these 3 hours in this conversation, we're going to have some back and forth. We might even call some of you and do some live coaching on duplication topics later on over the course of these 3 hours. But what I want your notes to be by the time you're done is I want your notes to be a training manual on duplication. I'm going to give you the best I have. You already got access to the Radical Duplication course that's inside of that masterclass on Radical Duplication. Whether you're part of GoPro Academy, the mentoring program, or you just purchased this webcast today, this coaching session today, a la carte, just as a one-off, both groups have access to the Radical Duplication. So that's one resource. This is another resource to help you kind of take it to the next level, a little bit more interactive, okay? The thing that I wished for more than anything else when I first got started in network marketing is for someone to teach me. At the beginning, I was trying to get lucky. I was crossing my fingers, hoping I was in the right place at the right time. And I was just trying to get lucky. You take advantage of this opportunity. I treated it like a lottery ticket. I didn't really treat it like a business. And then once I got involved, the strange thing about network marketing is your upline, sometimes they're not at all like a supervisor at your job, somebody who is skilled at teaching you. They just got started 15 minutes before you did. They got started 3 days before you did, or a week before you did, or a month, or maybe they started a year ago, but they haven't worked on their skills at all. So it's like, where do you go in order to be able to get information? So when I first got started, my father and his partner in a real estate venture, a gentleman by the name of John Joyce, they were my upline. And the people above them, I really didn't have access to. These people were, once I finally got to somebody making money, they were so busy and they didn't have time for me, and I was too deep in the organization, and it was difficult for me to be able to get somebody's attention. So one of my first mentors was a guy by the name of Michael Nelson. Michael Nelson lived in Minneapolis where I lived. He was cross-lined from me, and I saw that he really had it going on. He really knew his skills. So I started paying attention. I started hanging around as much as I could. I served as much as I could, the local groups. I took all the notes. I recorded everything that he did. I really tried to figure out what it is that he did. And then I struggled for those first 3 years. I made just enough money to be miserable inside of network marketing. If you're going to do this, I'm telling you, you got to figure out a way to get to duplication, because for my first 3 years in network marketing, I did not have duplication. I had a job. I literally had a job. I didn't have multiplication or duplication in my organization. I had addition and subtraction. I would add some people, and then I'd lose some people. And then I'd add some people, and then I'd lose some people. And then I'd add some people. There was nothing that happened on my team that happened outside of my influence. And that's ultimately what we want, is for you to have an organization that is growing outside of your influence, outside of your reach, outside of your leadership, outside of your proximity. Somebody who's working while you're sleeping. Somebody who doesn't need to be reminded to go build a business. Somebody who doesn't need to be dragged across the finish line. That's what we're looking for. And I didn't have that for 3 years. 3 years. Now, I will tell you, there's some people in network marketing that they make a living, but it's still just a job. And that's the saddest part of the network marketing professional, is one that doesn't have duplication. So when I finally cracked the code 3 years after I started, the cracking of the code didn't come, I had some basic skills when it came to inviting. I had basic skills when it came to finding prospects. I had basic skills when it came to presenting. I had basic skills when it came to closing. But you know what I didn't have skills with? Duplication. Yeah, I'd sign up all these people and they just lay there, do nothing. So frustrating. So when I cracked, the code that I cracked in my network marketing experience was the code of duplication. So what I hope this is, and this relationship that we have, I want to be for you, everybody that's watching this, whether you just purchased this training today or you're part of GoPro Academy, I want you to view your relationship with me as a mentor-like relationship. And what is a mentor but somebody that's been farther down the road than you, who already knows what the road looks like, and can come back to you and give you a step-by-step kind of roadmap so you can save time. You can save time. What I want this to be today is an opportunity for you to save time, to save heartache and to save struggle and to save challenge and to save all the difficulty that can come in our profession. I want to take what took me 3 years and help you get there in 3 months. Okay? So I know there's some of you that just purchased this coaching session today, this live coaching session today, whether you're watching live or replay, this coaching session today. What I would encourage you is to join the rest of the people inside of this GoPro Academy mentoring organization and work with me every month on a different topic. Let me cut through all the clutter for you and help you step in to your potential, okay? 3 hours every month on a different topic. And in a year from now, I can take 5 years worth of learning and I can put it into a year if you're ready, okay? So just consider that, those of you who are taking a look at this, and we'll let you know how to do that by the end of this session if you choose to, okay? If you don't, I think it's a mistake on your part. If you do, well, and let me tell you why. I'll just tell you real quick. Here's why it's a mistake. It won't cost you anything. To become part of GoPro Academy costs $297 to join, and then $97 a month after that. You've already paid $297 for what you're experiencing right now. You've already paid it. And we'll apply that $297 towards your GoPro Academy. So you can sign up today, become part of GoPro Academy, get access to all the previous coaching that I've done and all the courses that are in the library for $0. $0 for the next 30 days. So you have literally zero risk. You can access every single course that I have for 30 days for $0. All you got to do is just click on the link and do that. And then after that, it's $97 a month if you choose to stay. If you don't choose to stay, cancel. But try it out. give it a test drive. I promise you it's going to be great. All right, let's go to work. Talk about duplication. First area of duplication is retention. Retention is the first area of duplication. Am I sweating? Am I good? Am I all right? All right. They're like whispering behind the camera, so I'm trying to figure out what it's going to be. So, retention's the first key. I had one of my early people that I learned from tell me the key to building a huge organization. You know what the key was? Keep the people in your business active and engaged for just another 90 days. For just another 90 days, he said that's the key. If you keep your team engaged for 90 more days, they get involved, and here's what happens. A person gets involved, and it's a very short fuse. If they don't get results, then they're gone, right? So when we get them involved, we want to help them get some success, build some belief, do some stuff, and we want to hold them for 90 days or so, just being around, just engaged in what it is that we do, okay? And then when they're thinking about quitting, or you see that they're fading, or they start to not show up, our job as an organization is to keep them around 90 more days. Come on, let's just do this for 90 more days. Let's get to the event. Let's get to the convention. Let's let the product results kick in. Let's just 90 more. And this mentor told me that if you do that systemically throughout your organization and you compound that over the course of 10, 20 years, the results are astronomically huge. So 90 more days. We want to keep people involved, and I'm going to give you some strategies on retention first and duplication second, okay? So retention is just keeping them around long enough until the penny drops. Keeping them around long enough till they build that right relationship with some friend in the business. Keeping around long enough till they have a positive experience, until they get a check, until something good happens. They go to an event and they catch the big vision. Keep them around long enough. That's part of our job, is to keep people engaged and around long enough until the penny drops and they make the decision, you know what, I'm going to do this, okay? So let's talk about some strategies that we can do inside of retention, and then we'll talk about duplication. Fair enough? All right, cool. One part of retention is a concept that I call, I'm going to try to draw like this. Concept I call over the line. This is really just a little bit more of a structured way to think of this. 90 more days. Keeping them in. On this side of the line, it's easy to stay. On this side of the line, it's easy to quit. Okay? It's easy to quit over here. It's easy to stay over here. So what do we want to do? We want to move as many people as we can over the line so it's easier to stay. 90 more days so it's easier to stay. Get some results so it's easier to stay. So I want you to think about, and I'm going to ask you, what are some of the things that you can do? And post it in the comments here. What are some of the things that you could do that would help a person get over the line where it's easier to stay in the business? And I'll give you a few examples, okay? A product experience. if they have a positive product experience, if they use your product or service and it gets great results and it builds their belief, that's going to move them over the line, right? Anders says, make friends. Yep, that makes it easier to stay. Bonnie Joe says, get them to a big event. Yep. That's going to make it easier for them to stay. Lacey says, yes, this is a big one. Encourage your people to share the fact that they're involved in this business and share it publicly. To proclaim themselves to the world that they're involved in your company and they're going all the way to the top. Proclaim themselves. Let them feel like part of the family, friends, family. Get a customer. Or get a distributor. Get some success, right? Keena Johnson, yes. Get them paid. Get a check. Remember when you got a check the first time? How exciting that was to you? Let me see if we're going through. Help them get their first associate, create the community, speak their language, spend time with them. Get them paid. Give me others as you're going through. So these are all parts of what makes it easier for them to stay another 90 days, right? This is what helps encourage them, build them up, challenge them. Challenge them to do something, give them an assignment. Hey, check this out. Help them rank advance. Now understand, this isn't duplication yet. This is a job, okay? This is a job. We're creating an environment where duplication is possible, okay? We're keeping them in long enough so eventually we can get to duplication. We're going to talk about duplication second. We got to talk about retention first. So let's look at the opposite. Let me see if there's anything else. To get the first rank. Anything else that you guys saw? Paint a vision for their possible future. Let them see a better future. Help them figure out why they're doing this in the first place. What are their reasons for doing this? Engage them with the community. Go all the way to the most recent. Mentorship. Challenge, mentorship, friends, family. Help them set their goals. Right? All of these different things. Now, what's the opposite of these things? What's going to make it easier for a person to quit? They don't use the product. They don't connect with them. They don't make friends. They don't attend the events. They don't tell anyone. That they're involved. They don't get any customers. No customers or distributors. They don't get a check. You don't spend time with them. You don't give them a challenge or an assignment. So if you don't do these things, how easy is it for them to quit? They haven't told anybody. They haven't built any relationship. They're not even using the products. They haven't gone to an event. They don't have any results. They don't have a check. You haven't spent any time. They're gone. You got no shot at duplication. So this was what makes it easier to quit. And I want you to be honest with yourself. Which of these most represents the current average person on your team? Because you know what most people do inside of network marketing? Some of you are self-starters. You got involved and you said, you know what? If it is to be, it's up to me. I'm going to take charge. I'm going to go change my life. I'm going to do all this stuff. So you became your own boss. You were motivated. And because of that, you've been frustrated ever since because you expect everybody else to be motivated. You expect everybody else to be inspired. You expect everybody else to be a self-starter. So you sign them up and say, okay, go get them. Call me if you need me. Because you're trying to create duplication, but you can't get to duplication until you get to retention first. So network marketing starts as a job to move them over the line, and then it becomes a business as we create duplication after they're over the line. The natural flow of life, the natural gravity is to go this way. Why? Because the price of entry is so low. When you can get involved in network marketing for $1,000 or even less, the price of it's easy to move over here. If we charge everybody $100,000, they're going to stay over here a lot longer. A lot longer. But since it's $1,000, they're like, it's not going to kill me. I can move this way. Okay? Now, we don't raise the price, but we do need to create an experience that moves them over there. So we need to lean on this line hard until we can get them over there and understand for some people, they're never over there permanently. It gets harder and harder to quit, but I've had mid-level leaders I had to keep leaning on. I had people who got results and did all these things, and still their self-belief was such a challenge, their self-confidence was such an issue. They're such a perfectionist or whatever, that any little thing would move them towards this line. My job in network marketing was to lean on this line as hard as I could, as long as I could, to keep everybody in my business involved for 90 more days. Got it? 90 more days. Just 90 more days. Give them an assignment, 90 more days. So this is part of retention. And let's talk about these other things. The 90-day concept. The other concept is belief. And all of these things either build or they erode belief, right? If you show people examples of other people who are succeeding, you tell enough stories, it's going to start to build a belief. Let's talk about your product for a moment. Your product or service. You want to create retention. You want to create an environment for duplication. The way you do that is through belief. In my opinion, one of the real pillars of building belief is in your product. I work with companies all over the world. I work with top leaders all over the world. And if there's a secret sauce today, as far as what's really working today, is the companies that are growing and are solid and have incredible retention, which gives them an opportunity for duplication. The best retention companies are the people who are passionate about their products. So how do you build belief in your product within your organization? Let's talk about that. How do you build product belief? I'll give you some strategy on product belief. And I hope look, when we do this, I hope you enjoy this type of a training because you're never going to get this. This training is, this type of coaching is what I do for the 6- and 7-figure earners in the companies that I work with around the world. The fact that you're accessing this, you probably don't get this at your company conventions or your training because this is the inner workings of what really needs to happen inside of your organization in order to be able to create a real big leveraged business. So let's talk about product belief. One is from personal experience. So not in any chronological order. You want to be a strong leader inside of your business. You need to personally be a product of your product. You need to Some people, they're so business minded that they're like, yeah, the product doesn't really matter. The product's just got to, people got to like it, whatever. But the people who are passionate, people can sense your belief. They can sense your commitment. They can sense your passion. They can sense your vision. So people are going to do what you do. They're going to know if you're taking your product or not. They're going to know if you're using it on a regular basis. They're going to know if you're passionate about it or if it's just something that you talk about because it's the widget that makes your business work. So personal experience is critical. Now, you don't have to start off let's say you fell in love with your opportunity. You're not necessarily even in love with your product. That's fine. Fall in love with it. Find a way. Fall in love with it through your own personal experience. Your own personal experience is going to create your own stories. Now, you got to make sure your stories align with the compliance within your organization, because some people, their stories get a little crazy and not completely medically or advertising responsible. We need to make sure that we're responsible, but your stories about what the product helped you feel, helped you do, helped you experience, your stories are incredibly important. And then if you want to build product belief, other stories. Stories from people in your organization, stories from people who are experts in the field. Any other stories that you can spread through your organization is going to make a huge difference. Product knowledge. This builds a lot of belief. Product knowledge. Now, for some companies, it's the sourcing of their ingredients. They have this incredible story on how their ingredients are sourced and how it goes from conception to the product, and the whole product journey is part of their product knowledge story, and they tell that to the world. And the more they say it, the more they reinforce it, the more they train it, the more belief is built within the organization. So you eventually believe what you repeatedly hear. And when you start to repeat it to others, then you have a culture that's going to start to have higher levels of retention, because from the stories and the product knowledge and the product training, I'm not saying you need to have lab coats and all that stuff and get crazy, but brag about your products to your team, to your customers, to your distributors. Make sure that they understand the value story. Make sure they understand the results. Make sure they understand your passion. Help them create the same thing. All of these things is going to help you build product belief, and product belief equals retention. I work all over the world, fastest growing organizations in the world. I will tell you, they win in this category. They absolutely win. You need to make sure that you're winning in this category if you want to have strong retention, okay, in your business. Okay, let me see if there's any questions on this. Strategies to re-engage people who are approached but not engaged. We'll talk about re-engagement. You remind me later. Okay, cool. Do me a favor. What is, a person asked, and first of all, what I would like you to do is just let me know in the comments if you're understanding this and you're getting value so far. Okay, if you're understanding it, say I'm getting it, or thumbs up, or I got it, or I understand, whatever you want to say in order to be able to do that. What's an acceptable rate of retention? Every bucket is a leaky bucket. Every business has people flowing in and people flowing out. No customer of any business is a permanent customer. There's always going to be a hole in the bottom of the bucket. What duplication helps you create is you're putting more into the bucket than has an opportunity to go out, so the bucket just continues to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. All right, good. You're getting it, you're getting it, you're getting it, you're getting it. Awesome. So is there an acceptable rate of retention? Not really. We're back to this again. It depends on your product. It depends on the price point. It depends on where you are in the world. It depends on all kinds of things. But the goal here is 90 more days, 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 90 more days. Got it? All right. All right. Belief is a big one if you want to increase retention. Another part of retention is your culture. What do I mean by culture? The friends, the family, the environment that you build that is comforting to somebody, that is welcoming to someone, okay? The culture that you create is going to help you build more retention. A big part of this, and I will mildly curse, is if you give a damn, people will stay. They'll hang out. If you care, and they can tell they're not just part of your dream, but they're part of your family, that you really want them to succeed. If you really believe in them, they'll stay. That's something that you can decide, okay? Is to build that culture that causes people to want to hang out because they know that you are their friend, you are their fan, you want to see them succeed, you believe in them, all of that, okay? Person asked from North Carolina, what if you have trouble getting your team to run auto ship orders? Again, if you're having trouble to getting people to sign up on a monthly auto ship, they don't understand. So if we come back to product belief, if they're doing it just to qualify, if people are struggling to sign up on a monthly recurring order, that means they don't have the belief. That's what it means. Because they don't have the belief because they're not using the product. If they were using the product, they need to order every month. They're not using the product because they don't see the value, they haven't heard enough stories, they haven't seen enough experience, they don't know enough about the product, they haven't had enough training. If those things happen, then product belief and auto ship is easy. If you do it as an assignment as part of your organization without the underlying belief structure, then you're going to struggle with it all the time. Okay? In your opinion, a person asked, Papa Joe asked, what's more important, belief in the product or your why for choosing network marketing or MLM? It doesn't really matter. I would say the answer is whatever keeps you in for 90 more days. If your why is what is necessary for you to be involved for 90 more days, then do that. If it's a product experience, that's how they're wired, then focus there. If it's building friends and family, getting them to an event, take a look at what you think is going to help that person get over the line and stay over the line the best. Janet asks, how to convince them the importance of product if they have just beginning experience and then stop. Well, the reason why people stop, Janet, here's the reasons. This is just some of them. They stopped because they were afraid. They stopped because they didn't get results. They didn't have a product experience. They didn't meet any friends, go to an event. So it's okay. If people move over here, don't give up on them. I keep leaning on them to try and move them back over here. Find out, take a step. Let's help you get a customer. Let's get you to an event. Let's help you get a check. Let's spend a little time together, right? Let me give you a little challenge that you can accomplish. See, all of these things are going to help you build belief, which is going to help you build retention, help you ultimately build a culture, and keep people involved 90 more days. I have a lot of team that are like groupies and lifers, but just don't work. They say they don't have the money to run auto ship and can't afford it. I understand the Walking Dead. I get it. I've been involved in this profession for over 30 years. I understand the people who are hanging around but are not willing to face their fear. Okay? And if they're not willing to face their fear, they might stay because they're staying for the friends and they're staying for the family. They're staying for, some benefit that they're getting over here, but they're not duplicating. It's okay. Just if they're not doing auto ship, why are they not doing auto ship? Why are they not doing auto ship? It's not because they can't afford it. It's because they don't have product belief. That's why they're not. If they had product belief, they'd do it. They spend money on other stuff. They have product belief in their cell phone. Show me one of those people that is not doing your auto ship on your product, but they're never going to cancel their cell phone service. Why? They have a different emotional attachment to that cell phone than they do to the product. Once your organization has the same emotional attachment to your product than they do a cell phone, than they do oxygen, retention gets easy. Keep them involved for 90 more days. The goal here, 90 more, 90 more, 90 more. John Bana says, can people be active in 2 companies? You can, but it's not illegal, but it's, and I understand everybody that's been involved in network marketing. Let me just go on a little side tangent for a moment. If you want to create duplication, you want to create retention, you want to create wealth inside of network marketing, pick a company, drive your roots deep. Every company is going to have its challenges. Decide which company you're going to have your challenges with for the next 10, 20, 30 years, and create some equity within the organization. If you want to kill duplication, build more than one. I've been involved for 30 years. I've never seen anyone ever successfully take it from a job to a business building more than one. Never. Never, ever, ever. So you can, now you have 2 jobs. You build 3 companies, you have 3 jobs. 4 companies, you have 4 jobs. You don't have freedom, you don't have wealth, you don't have duplication, you don't have scalability, you just have a bunch of jobs. And they're all paycheck to paycheck. You really just don't have anything to be able to hold on to. How do you help somebody acquire an ambassador or customer? She's working it without results. My upline said I can't do it for her. Why not? This is the job part. Not do it for her, but do it with her. Grab this girl. See, we're going to talk about this in a minute. I won't get too fired up. They're laughing. I'm ready to go. But I want to talk about different layers of duplication. This is a common misunderstanding that in order to create duplication within your organization, and uplines do say all kinds of things from good intentions. But there's a job part of our business. The job part is this. Move them over the line, keep them over the line. That's the job, okay? And some people say, you can't do it for them, they got to do it on their own. Now you can't, you can help someone seriously, aggressively, tangibly, physically, emotionally. You can go out there and do the talking. They introduce the people, you do the talking. They set up the meeting, you do the presentation. You can do all of those things. Those are all perfectly fine, so long as they don't stay there. We'll help them to eventually become replicating. But our job is 90 more days. So we can stand on our morals and say, sorry, if they're not going to do it, they're not going to do it. Next. And then you let this person just come back over here and go onto that red list where it makes it easier for to quit. There's no question. So go over there, help them get that customer. How do you do that? Who's the candidate? Who can we call? Who can we talk to? Let's get in front of them today. Let's get in the car and we'll drive until we meet somebody who can use your product. Let's help you get a customer before the day's done. And when they do that, is that going to make it easier for them to stay? The answer is of course. How do you check if people are still using the products? You're going to build a culture. If their auto ship falls off, if they're not talking about the products, you're going to know. Why not? Why 90 days? Why not 120 days? 120? You could do 120 if you want. This is just what one of my early mentors told me, so I stuck with 90. It could be 30. You can keep them involved for one more week. But I've just, for 25 years now, use 90 days. But if you want to use a different number, use a different number. Test it. But this is the philosophy. Forget about the number. Think about the philosophy. How do you keep them around so that there's time for the penny to drop? There's time for the relationships to be built. There's time for their story to have a chance to take root. There's time to be able to get them to an event. Lauren asks, do you have a training for helping people find their why? Something that being passed out or trained to. We'll talk about that a little bit. A lot of that is found in your story. Some people think that as soon as you bring somebody into the business, even before, while you're prospecting them, you need to pound them on their why. What's your why? What's your why? You need a why that makes you cry. All that stuff, right? They pound them on this stuff. And sometimes that makes the people easier to quit because they just get freaked out. It's like asking a teenager, what they're going to do with the rest of their life. That's a stressful question. They don't know. They don't have any idea. A few of them do, most of them don't. But they're tired of getting the question asked of them. It's a pressure. So right now, guess what most people's why is when they first join? To get their money back. That's their why. Okay? And then after that, maybe make a few dollars. That's their why. And then after that, it's like, oh, look, I can help other people. And that becomes part of their why. And oh, look, I can dream again. And that becomes part of their why. And oh, look, I can help, I can be a better citizen of the world. I can give to the causes that are important. And their why develops. But don't put too much pressure on a why up front, okay? Just move them over the line, get them to stay over the line, and the why will develop. Of course, keep working with them on it. My issue is that I have a business outside of network marketing, still trying to build both. Should I quit my business and focus on network marketing? That's really up to you. It depends. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I don't know your life situation, but I have a very difficult time dividing my mind into two different things. Now, you might need to do it out of necessity. If you can, and if you can survive letting the other business go and focusing on network marketing, that would be what I would do if you could survive. If you can't, then you have the double hard job of working your network marketing business and working your other business, and until your network marketing business starts to surpass the future that your traditional business holds. Okay, that's generally what I could tell you. I need to know more about your situation. Do you tell reps that it will be a job in the beginning? Why not? People say treat it like a business. It's not a business, it's a job for a while. Treat it like a job until it pays you like a business. What's our job? When we first bring somebody in, 90 more days. How do we win that 90-day challenge? Get them over the line. That's our job. Now, we're going to teach everybody in the organization to do the same thing. I would just tell, hey, look, the truth is enough. The truth is enough. You don't need to exaggerate and tell people it's going to be easy and there's going to be freedom right away and all that stuff. No. Freedom is not free. Freedom, there's a price to pay. The price to pay is bringing people in, getting them over the line, building a belief and a culture that causes people to stay for 90 more days. And as they stay for 90 more days, you have an opportunity for the penny to drop and people to engage in a different level of commitment. Okay? That make sense? All right. Work with the willing. How do you explain this statement? I work with the willing, but I push it a bit. So I don't fall in love with somebody's potential. If I'm going to get somebody involved in my organization, they have all this potential. That's fine. My goal is to get them over the line. Okay? So long as they stay engaged with me and I can give them a little assignment on the product. Hey, I need you to take the product every day or use the product every day for a week, 2 weeks, a month. And I want you to document what it's doing for you. And I want you to tell me the response. So long as they're willing to engage in that conversation, so long as they're willing to connect with other friends until it feels like family, and they're willing to socially hang out with people on the team, so long as they're willing to maybe attend an event, so long as they're willing to proclaim themselves, tell the world that they're willing to do something, so long as they're willing to let me help them get a customer or distributor, so long as they're willing, to spend a little time with me, then I'm working with them. But if they're insisting to be over here, I'm not going to kill myself. I'm not going to drag them over the finish line. My job is to move them over the line, keep them over the line as long as possible, 90 more days, 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 until the penny drops. But I don't let people abuse me either, abuse my time either. If they're not willing to do it, that's okay. I've learned a long time ago to discipline my disappointment, to let that go, to love them, and let them know when you're ready, I'm ready to help. You might not be ready right now, that's fine. But when you are, I'm ready to help. Okay? Marina Doval? Or is it one name? Marina Doval. How do you get them to get all the range of products at the beginning and not make them feel pushed? Belief. How do you get them to really engage in all the products? Listen, once you build product belief, it's going to change the game. How do you build product belief without personal experience? So take some time to share with them and let them know the importance of your personal experience, your stories, other stories, product knowledge and training. You can't professionally represent your company without being a product of your products. Can you? I'm not telling you to do it because I want to sell more product to you. I'm telling you to do it because this is going to create a better business for you. So take a minute to be able to let them know the importance of what it is that you're doing. We'll talk a little bit more about culture, Linda, when we talk about duplication. The culture is just your environment. Think about any culture. I'll talk about it just for a moment now. I'm not going to go deep on it. A military organization has a particular culture. Different branches of the military have a culture. Different religious institutions have their own culture. Corporations have their own culture. Think about IBM as a culture and think about Google as a culture. Probably two radically different cultures, yes? So the culture is the way of doing things. The culture is kind of the accepted thinking process within the organization. And your job is to create a culture around belief, a culture around retention, a culture around over the line. Does that make sense? All right. In my book, Go Pro, I give examples of scripts to sponsor new members. Do you have any examples of methods for selling the product so new members can make their first sale quickly? Look, all I would do in simplicity, and it's funny with the scripts that we're doing inside Go Pro because I'm writing this new book now. And so many of the invitation scripts that we talk about our goal is to get in front of somebody and tell our story, right? That's our goal. Today, with texting, that takes care of most of it. You text somebody to set up an appointment and it's so much easier than a phone call. It's amazing what's happened there. But if I was going to help somebody, let's say you're brand new. We'll role play this for a moment. Who asked that question again? Do you know? Victoria. Victoria, let's say you're a brand new person and I want to help you get a customer. And we've got a product and the product is unbelievable. The product is this glass of water right here. First thing I'm going to do with you is, Victoria, do you know anybody that would benefit from this glass of water? Know anybody who needs water? And I don't want you to think about the most challenging prospect. I want you to think about the easiest one that you know. Who do you know that absolutely hasn't had any water for a long time and just really, really needs it? Okay? Who do you know? What I'm trying to do in my mind is help Victoria find the easiest one she could possibly find so we can go to that person and help that person become a customer. Okay? So think about easy. What would be the characteristics of easy? Who really needs it? Who could afford it? Who loves you? Who cares about you? Who would want to support you? Okay? So That's the list that I'm working with Victoria. They need it. They can afford it. They love you. They care about you, right? They would support you. So Victoria says, well, yeah, I know. I've got let's make a list of 10 people. And out of those 10 people, which is the easiest one? Maybe somebody who owes you money. Maybe somebody who just, you've supported them their whole life, and this would be a great opportunity for them to support you. Okay. So pick the easiest one, and we're going to call that person. We're going to set up some type of interaction with that person. And whether it's on the phone or it's on a video or it's me and Victoria meeting with that person. We're going to get together with that person. Victoria's going to tell her story. I'm going to tell my story. And I'm going to say, listen, if I'm helping Victoria do it, I'm going to say, let's say it's Bob we're talking to. Bob, you need water, right? He says yes. You can afford water, right? He says yes. You love Victoria, right? You want to support her. You're her friend, yeah? Let me tell you how you can accomplish your goals and you can help her accomplish hers. She's just launching a business. She's starting something. Part of her getting started process is to develop some customers, to get some product stories. I promise you, when you drink this water, you're going to feel a lot better. You're going to feel satisfied. This is an incredible product. But Victoria could use your support in launching her business. Would you do Victoria a favor and be a product of her water for the next 30 days? Just to support her and also to take care of yourself. And if you like it, she can show you how to continue getting this water for as long as you want and get you the best price possible. If you don't, that's fine. You can go on drinking whatever else that you want to drink, and Victoria's not going to be worried about that, are you, Victoria? She'll feel supported. You know, all she wants you to do is give it a try. You'll be supporting her. You'll be taking care of yourself. What do you say? Would you like to be one of Victoria's customers? Support her business as she's launching? You in or you out? Chances are pretty good that I can help Victoria get a customer with that. That make sense? Hope it does. I don't get immediate feedback from the comments. They're 30 seconds behind, but that's what I would do. That's what I would do. Any suggestions on literature scripts to use as training tools to help people write their story? I've done the story training so many times, and it's inside of your GoPro Academy Masterclass library in so many places. Doing it again here is probably going to be difficult, but I know it's in How to Recruit 20 People in 30 Days. I know it's in the Invitation Masterclass. Yeah, it's all over the place. You'll be able to find it inside of the course. All right. How we doing? Okay, let's do this. I hope this has been helpful for you. Do me a favor and keep... people are saying the upgrade button isn't active. Hopefully that upgrade button is active for people who want to get upgraded to GoPro Academy for free and have this for the next 30 days. All of access to everything for the next 30 days. I hope you did. I mean, it would hurt my feelings if you already paid $297 for this course and you wouldn't access all the other courses for the next 30 days for free. It just doesn't even make any sense to me. $97 starts 30 days from now. Cancel before that if you're not getting value. I mean, it's a pretty simple deal. All right, let's do this. It's what, 6 minutes before the hour? Yeah. Let's take a quick break. You guys can go to the restroom if you need to, get a drink, get something to eat, whatever you want to do. And we'll start back, let's call it 6 minutes. We'll start back at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 6 minutes from right now, okay? In the meantime, do me a favor, if you're still hanging around your computer, let me know what you're getting out of this so far. Type in your comments as to what you're learning so far, because we're going to switch from retention into duplication in the next hour, okay? All right, see you in a few.